Hi, I'm Shao. Today I would like to address two questions regarding portraits from my comment section. The first one is a basic question. It's about how to make someone look thinner than they really are in a portrait. I'm not considering myself a portrait shooter. What I do is a little bit different. I'll get to it later in this video. However, my intuition is that you have to use short lighting, which means diminishing the illuminated side of the face, of the body, a little bit. To do that, you have to place the camera at 90 degrees from your light source and ask the sitter to turn a little bit towards the light source. So the side of the body facing the camera is more shaded and illuminated. This way they will look a little bit thinner. It's not so much a matter of focal length. Of course, longer lenses will tend to flatten the facial features a little bit. They will make them a little bit rounder, and shortening the focal length will make the facial features a little bit more natural looking, as if you were looking at that person from a conversational distance. The image you see now on the video, I'm sitting about 70 centimeters from the camera using a 40mm lens. So the proportions of my facial features should look quite natural, as if you were sitting opposite to me while conversing quietly. I'm now using an 85mm lens. I positioned the camera at a much larger distance from my face. Now it's at about 1.5 meters away. Maybe you can tell the difference in how my face looks. But as you can see, it's quite a minimal difference. I would like you to take notice that the proportion of facial features is mainly dependent on the distance, not so much on focal length. It's really simple, really. There is a distance of about 8 centimeters or 3 inches or so between the tip of the nose and the ears on an average adult. The closer the subject is from the camera, the more prominent the nose becomes and the least prominent the ears. As you increase the distance, those differences in distance diminish. So the facial features, the whole face looks more squashed. together, which is considered flattering. But it's a little bit unnatural because we're not used to communicate with people from 2 or 3 meters away. Nevertheless, the main effect on body shape is created by the lighting. So this is what I would suggest. Short lighting might be a good solution for that challenge. The second question I received was how I make those portraits that I sometimes use as a B-roll for my videos. Now, those are not conventional portraits. A portrait is called so because it portrays or describes a person, a human being. And there are many ways to make a portrait with different purposes. The first type of portrait is aimed to make an image that is exactly what a person looks like. This is used for passports, for police mugshots, etc. They are made for cataloging. Those are the most simple kinds of portraits. You don't have to put any efforts into them. The second type of portrait is aiming to make the sitter, the subject, more beautiful, more appealing than they really are, to show their best side. Those are portraits that are made with flattering lighting, in a flattering setting, with a flattering pose. Those are perhaps the most common portraits. This is what we usually think of. In those types of portraits, the photographer has full control of the shooting conditions. It's not only the camera settings, it's also the lighting, it's the surroundings, it's the distance between the camera and the subject. It's a slow process. It has to be carefully planned. It can be repeated as much as needed to get the desired result. Those formal portraits lack a little bit of emotion. They lack direct communication because the whole purpose of the shootout, of the engagement between the photographer and the subject, is to produce a flattering photograph. And that puts a little bit of pressure on the sitter. It puts them out of their comfort zone. They are surrounded by light stands and soft boxes. Maybe there is a backdrop to them. They are located in a studio sometimes where they feel out of place, and they respond to directions made by the photographer in order to look their best, which is a highly uncomfortable situation for them. What I do is entirely different, but my purpose is different. I don't want to only show what a person looks like. I also want to convey their mental state, their emotion, their personality. So I need them to ignore the camera. The whole purpose of our engagement is not to make a photograph, certainly not a flattering one. It's just a conversation, a meeting between two people. To do that, I engage with my subjects. It's usually someone I already know, not someone who came to me to have their photo taken. Typically, we sit opposite to each other. The camera is on the table, ready to shoot. And we talk about other things, not about photography. You have to be really present in that conversation to have some empathy to your subject. Of course, they know the camera is there, they're aware of its presence, but it's not the subject of conversation. It's only something that is on the side. And after a while, they behave quite normally. Now, the whole process of making these living portraits, this is what I would call them, is timing. It's to capture those moments when the face is full of expression, where the body language is interesting. And then I just pick the camera quickly and take a quick shot. The whole thing is very fast. I take only one shot every time, maybe two. As the photographer, I'm not really interested in those photographs, in the results. I'm more interested in the person sitting opposite to me, talking to me. You really have to be engaged in that conversation, put everything else aside in order to be aware enough, sensitive enough to the body language and to the course of the conversation to be able to pick those moments. When doing that, I don't have much control over the shooting settings. The light is available light. I don't use a flash or any type of sophisticated lighting. The distance is set. It's exactly the distance between me and the subject, which is usually quite close. It's not the most flattering distance to make a formal portrait. But for a living portrait, this is what I'm after. I'm looking for facial proportions that look natural, that have some resemblance to the way we see a person talking to us. This type of natural representation of the human face feels more intimate. in the resulting image, the intimacy, the personality of the subject takes a larger space than what they look like, if you will. It's not really about the appearance, it's more about the substance. The focal length I use can vary. It can be anything between something like 28 and 58 millimeters, depending on what lens I have on my camera. And that focal length determines the amount of context in the photograph. How much the environment takes part in relation to the subject. I feel at home with 28 millimeters. This way the environment takes a little bit more room than the subject. More of the body, especially if they have enhanced body language, when they are moving their hands and so forth. The photograph captures a little bit more of that. With a normal focal length, like 40 millimeters, the subject and the environment take an equal part. And with a longer focal length, such as 50 or 58 millimeters, it's mainly about the face of the subject. You can't see much more than that. In that case, I have to be quite aware of the focus. Usually I shoot those living portraits in low light conditions. I like to do it in our local pub when I can quietly talk to people. And in those dark conditions, I really need a wide aperture in order to make sure the shutter speed is sufficient. With a 50 or 58 millimeter lens, I have to have a good autofocus system. In modern mirrorless cameras, I can fully trust the eye tracking of the camera. So I can shoot even without looking through the viewfinder, which is a huge advantage. Sometimes this is the way to shoot those in those situations, especially when you really do not want to interrupt the course of the conversation. There are no cheat codes, no formulas to do this work. It's a type of documentary photography where you want to communicate who a person is. Again, it's not only about appearances, it's also about personality, about mood, about state of mind. The only aspect of the photograph I tend to control is shutter speed. And I don't want to freeze the subject. I want hand movements and sometimes subtle movements of the head to create some motion blur. So my preferred shutter speed is about 1/80th, sometimes 1/60th or 1/50th. It depends on the subject, how much they move. I don't want very static, very rigid, frozen representation. If you found the contents of this video helpful to you in any way, if you like my channel in general, please consider buying me a coffee. It's a nice gesture between gentlemen. You'll find the link in the description below. Thank you for watching and see you again soon.